All right. Let's take for instance you have a matrix with another 2 by 2, and you have another matrix with another 3 by 2. So the question is, can these two matrices, can you multiply them together? All right. That's the first thing we have to deal with when dealing with multiplication of matrix. Not every two matrices can be multiplied together. So how do you know the matrix you can multiply together and the one you cannot multiply together? Well, this is the easy way to go about it. Go on to look at the column of the first one. In this case, this is the row. The row is always the first thing written, and then the column is the second one. So this is the row, this is the column, this is the row, this is the column. This means this matrix has 2 rows and 2 columns. This has 3 rows and 2 columns. All right. Now, how do you use this to get if these two matrices can be multiplied together or not? So you go on to check the column of the first matrix. In this case, the column of the first matrix is 2. So we have 2 as a column of the first matrix. Then you go on to check the row of the second matrix. The row here is 3. Now, if these two values are not the same thing, you can see here we have 2, you can see here we have 3. 2 is not the same thing as 3. So this matrix cannot be multiplied together. So the basis for matrix multiplication is that the row, the column here must be the row here. So once this is intact, then we can multiply the two matrices together. All right, let's take a look at another matrix. Let's say we have a 3 by 1 matrix and we have a 1 by 2 matrix. So let's go on to investigate if we can multiply these two matrices together. So looking at the first row, we have 1. Then we go on to look at the row of the second matrix, we have 1. Since 1 and 1 are the same thing, we can multiply this matrix together. So the basis is you check out the column here, check out the row here. If they are the same thing, you can go on to multiply them together. Now, the next thing to talk about is what's going to be our resultant. What is the matrix we're going to get if we multiply these two matrices together? Well, go on to check out the row here. This is 3, and then we have the column here, 2. So the matrix we're going to get when we multiply these two matrices together will be a 3 by 2 matrix. So this is the interesting thing about matrix. When you are dealing with matrix multiplication, you go on to investigate first by checking the column and the row. If they are having the same value, then you can go on to multiply them together, and the result of your multiplication will be a 3 by 2 matrix. All right, I want you to pause this video at this point, and what I want you to do is to go into the comment section and tell me which of these 3 matrices you go on to say matrix 1. Can we multiply matrix 1? The first question, can we multiply these two matrices together? Go on to tell me in the comment section. Can we multiply these two matrices together? Can we multiply these two matrices together? And then go on to tell me also what is going to be the result of the multiplication of both matrices in cases where they can be multiplied together. Well, let me give you the answers right here. For the first one, we have a 2 by 3 matrix. We go on to check the column here and the row here. This is 3, this is 2. They are not the same thing. So we cannot multiply these two matrices together. Now we go on for the second question. We check here. This is 3 as the row, as the column here, and this is 3 as the row here. 3, 3. We can multiply these matrices together. And what will be our result? Our result will be a 2 by 2. So the result of multiplying these two matrices together will be a 2 by 2 matrix. Then let's go on to investigate the last one. Can we multiply these two matrices together? Well, this is the row here, the column here, rather, this is a 2, and this is a 2. They are the same thing. We can go on to multiply these matrices together. And what is going to be our resultant? Our resultant will be a 3 by 1 matrix. So we will have a 3 by 1 matrix. So this is the general rule that you need to always note when you're deciding to multiply two matrices together. This has to be fulfilled before you can go on to multiply two matrices. Matrix multiplication is not commutative. And the meaning of that is that A times B is not always B times A. So let's assume we have this matrix here as matrix A and this matrix here as matrix B. So we can go on to investigate 1 times 2, 1 by 2 rather, multiplied by a 3 by 1. Obviously, in this case, we can't multiply these two matrices together because the column here is not the same thing as the row here. So this cannot be multiplied together. That means we can't have A times B. But go on to find out, can we have B times A? That means, can we have 3 by 1, 3 by 1, which is B, this is B, can we multiply with a 1 by 2? If you go on to investigate this, you will see that this is possible actually, because the column here is the same thing as the row here. So even though A times B wasn't, we could not multiply them, but you can multiply B times A. So you can see that matrix multiplication is not commutative. If you investigate the other ones, this is a 2 by 3 matrix, this is a 3 by 1 matrix. Looking at the column here and the row here, we can see it's the same thing. So this is possible. We can multiply these together. But can we multiply B times A? Go on to investigate that. You can go on to have 3 by 1, 3 by 1 with 2 by 3. If you go on to check this out, the column here is not the same thing as the row here. So this tells you that A times B could happen, but B times A could not happen. So matrix multiplication is not commutative. You can see the last one. A times B can happen, but let's see, can B times A happen? 2 by 2 meeting 1 by 2. It cannot happen. So you can see B times A and A times B are not always the same thing. All right, this one will be for you to do. Go on to investigate these 3 different questions and tell me which one you feel can be multiplied together and what their resultant will be. So you can drop all the answers you get in the comment section. So I really hope you enjoyed this video. I hope to see you in the next video. Thank you guys for joining us. Bye-bye.